Hey guys, welcome to episode 9 of the Road to V11 series. So in the last video, I shared with you guys the last month of basically only climbing on the home wall and using that as my primary form of training. And as of today, it's been, I think, about a week and a half since that month span. And I think I've gotten pretty well adapted to the spray wall. So I think I'm finally gonna start introducing some actual training. And I've been doing that for about a week now, and I've kind of started to get it kind of zoned into what I want it to be. So I want to go and make this first video to kind of share with you guys. It's a 6-day cycle, 2 days on, 1 day off. On the on days, I'm climbing on the home wall, and I'm also doing training. And then the rest days are complete rest, just no exercise. So today's the first day of the cycle. I'm going to be doing weighted pull-ups, and then I'm going to be climbing, and then I'll finish off the session with core. The next day will be wrist wrench, climbing, finishing off with rows. Day 3, complete rest. Day 4, doing block lifts, climbing, finishing off with core. Day 5, I'm going to be doing on the 5th day, hammer curls, climbing, finishing off with rows. And day 6 will be rest, and that cycle will repeat after on the 7th day. And I'm definitely kind of slowly introducing this training. Anytime you make an adjustment like this, your body's gonna have to kind of take some time to get used to the extra training load and extra stimulus. So I kind of have to go and alter other things like the length and the intensity of climbing, for example. Maybe take an extra rest day every now and then. Just kind of have to make sure I'm not overdoing it and just giving my body time to adapt to the new schedule. Also, gonna apologize real quick. I know the lighting's probably not the best. Hopefully it'll be good kind of halfway through this video, but one of my lights burned out, so having to deal with that. Hopefully it's not super noticeable. I'll try to brighten things up in post, but that's kind of the plan for this video. Is probably going to be doing the first 2 days kind of in one video, and then I'll probably do the next 2-day block in another video. And I'll get into the specifics on the weights and reps, rests, sets, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoy. So finally tested it. This thing can actually hold a lot of weight, and it like really doesn't budge. We've tested it to like almost 400 pounds. So I feel a lot better about actually just putting weight to myself and doing stuff on here now. So I'm gonna be trying a kind of new way of doing like weighted pull-up training. So the way that I've done weighted pull-ups in the past is basically always doing like sets of either 3 or 4, 3 reps at like around 85–90% of my 1 rep max. And I feel like that works really well, but I want to try this new thing that I found where you start by doing 3 sets of 3, and then you work your sets up, and then your reps per set, and then the weight, and then you restart. So you might go and do 3 sets of 3, and then 4 sets of 3 the next week, 5 sets of 3, and then you go to 3 sets of 4, then 4 sets of 4, 5 sets of 4, and then 3 sets of 5. Do that, and once you get to 5 by 5, you increase the weight and you go back down to a 3 by 3. And I feel like that is a really, really solid way of progressing. So I'm gonna kind of mess around with that. Never tried it before, and it sounds really good. So last week I did 3 by 3 doing 90 pounds. Today I'm gonna do a 4 by 3 using 90 pounds and see how that feels. Oh, okay, not a bad first set. So now I'm gonna go and rest 5 minutes, and then we'll do set 2. Man, it's honestly kind of weird. 90 pounds on the first week felt pretty solid at 3x3. But now I'm going into the fourth set, and honestly, it's really not feeling that bad at all. I guess I've got a lot of recruitment gains just from doing them again for the first time in a while. So I honestly might just need to increase the weight, because honestly the third rep I don't think is feeling quite as hard as it should be. I think I'm just gonna do the 3x4 for this week because I don't have 10 pounds to go up. I only have a 25, and I think that might be a bit too much, but I think the next week I do this, I'll probably try to do like 100. I'll try to go out and buy a 10-pound weight, because I don't think this is hard enough right now. Sorry things aren't super clean and professional, but you just kind of have to make do with what you have. So I think it's better to underdo it this week than to add 25 pounds and overdo it and not be able to complete the set, and it's just junk mileage. The first move of this project is like pretty easy, and honestly the holds for the second move are pretty good, but they're just angled in a way that you really have to either keep your tension really good, or you have to just really crank on the hands. And the left foot is really hard to dig through. It's really hard to hold the swing. I've been able to do it, I think like 4 times now, over the course of like multiple sessions, but even after doing it a lot, it's still just so difficult. I think I might give it a couple more tries and I might try the next move. And it's like even hitting the left hand is just such a specific position that you have to hit it. It's really just like 3 fingers on. Okay, well, I stuck the first crux move, but that is not the end of the problem. The next move is also super, super hard. You have to just make sure that your left hand is just locked on there, and then you have to get this super precise, tiny right foot and just really sink low so that you can cross over to the next crimp, which is not in cut at all, and you just have to pinch it. And you have to get that hold really precise, because the next move, since you're crossed, you need to be able to basically just lock your right hand so that you can come around the left hand to the next hold. So this is the foothold that you're going to with the right foot, where you basically sink all your body weight on it. So yeah, that's the foothold. Here's my finger for reference. I think I'm gonna have to call it there, working the project today. Maybe I can go and do some more moves in the next session, so I'm just gonna go and finish up doing some core. I'm gonna do 5 sets of 10 today. Okay, so it's the next day, second session of the week, and today I'm going to be doing the wrist wrench, and then climbing, and then finishing off with rows. So if you guys have never heard of a wrist wrench before, this is basically the setup. I just made this just using PVC pipes and some paracord stuff. And basically what this does, you basically roll this up, grab onto it, and then when you put weight on the end here, it tries to go and rotate this down, but you use your wrist strength to go and keep it upright. I think it originated from like arm wrestling and stuff, but I think it is so crazy good for just targeting your like sloper wrist strength. And for my wall, since there's like not really any slopers, I think this is gonna be just like a crazy addition to training. So for the time being, I'm just kind of treating it like I'm doing edge lifts. So 7-second lifts, 6 sets, 1 rep each set. And I'm not sure that might not be the best way to train it, but it's just what I'm doing right now. This thing's crazy. It's like you add just a little bit of weight and it just feels so much harder. But I guess that also just might be because I don't have much wrist strength as it is. It's really interesting. Normally my left side is always a lot weaker, but for this exercise, my right side is a lot weaker. It's probably because I tweaked my wrist a bit ago, so it's probably still kind of in the process of like healing. That second set of 35 felt pretty good, so I think I'm gonna try to go up to 45 now. And at 10 pounds, it just becomes so much more difficult. I think that's a pretty good level. It's feeling really hard at the end on the right side. I'm curious, if you guys have like a weak side and a strong side, do you guys do different weights for each side? Or do you guys do the same weight and just go with like the weaker side? Because I feel like there's like pros to doing both. Because I feel like if you do the same weight on both sides and you just go with the weaker one, I feel like it's better for like dealing with like muscle imbalances and trying to like balance things out. But I've also heard that if you have a strong side and you still train that like as much as it can be, and then just train the weaker side a little bit less, like less weight, there's like a cross training like effect, so that it like helps to like benefit the weaker side more. So I'm super curious what you guys do, because I've always just gone with like the weaker, whatever the weaker weight is. I'm curious if you guys do the same, or if you guys do different weights, and if you guys have noticed more benefit doing one way or the other. Let's go. I stuck something. My skin is not doing super hot this session, but I mean, I feel decently strong. That move is so cool. I don't know if you can really tell, but like the left hand that you're going to is not super in cut, so like you really have to like pull up into it, so then you get this like kind of sideways momentum. It's pretty cool. That tiny right foot just honestly I think is the crux of the entire thing. Just being able to lock into it and then cross over. I think my fingers are cooked. Okay, I'm gonna finish the session off with my rows. So for rows, I'm gonna be doing a warm-up set and then 3 sets of 8. And instead of doing like, I feel like kind of regular rows, I'm doing them a little bit lower to kind of try to hit a little bit lower, like the mid-back kind of area. Because I feel like for me, that's always kind of weak in this kind of position. And I'm also really trying to like focus on getting the full extension where like the scapular kind of disengages and then having to re-engage it. Because for me, I can like row a lot more weight just using my arms, but like I'm really trying to isolate the back because that's like the point of the row. So then I'm doing less weight, but I feel it way more in my back in a good way. Alright, so that was the first 2 sessions of my new training plan. I'm gonna try to get the next 2 days of the training plan in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you did, like, subscribe, you know, all that stuff. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys hopefully in the next video.